Good morning, everyone. Sheila here in Boho Daydreams, and welcome to my channel. I hope that your new year is going along very peacefully. We have had a frozen tundra here, and it got really cold, and I think we set some records this year. But that's all behind us now because this morning it is starting to melt again, and we're going to go into a slushy springtime just because there's a lot of snow and ice build up now on the ground. Anyway, I get asked quite often if I do my charms with silver and why you don't see me using silver more often. And it's just harder to find the beautiful silver findings like I can find in the gold. It's just harder. But I do have some good sources now, so I do them more often. And I do like to do them. Silver is just a little more cool and icy, which goes very beautifully with the pastel pinks and the French blues and stuff like that. Even black and white is very, very beautiful. So I love to use silver on that, but I also love to use gold. Gold is my metal of choice. So I'm going to pop up my information, because if you have any questions, you'll just email me. I am Sheila Ginrich, scoghill4@gmail.com. And there's also a Facebook group, Boho Daydreams. And I'm going to link all of that in the description box. I'm also going to link, or try to link, everything that I use here. I've noticed from some of you crafters getting in touch with me that some of the links I list are unavailable, or they're out of stock. And that's because I do a lot of these videos that I've done previous, and I have everything linked. So there's a lot of bead stuff that gets purchased through them. And so sometimes the links are not available. And if you get a hold of me, I can try and find something comparable or another link of the same product. It just takes a little bit of work on my behalf, but I'm happy to do that because what I use is tested and it works over and over again. These are things that I have purchased multiple times, and I love them. So we're just going to go over, oops, I'm going to be dropping stuff here. My table is a little bit small. So we're just going to go over the things that I use, and then we'll go over making some charms. So I love this artistic wire. I buy it by the quarter pound because I use so much of it. It is a 20 gauge wire, and it comes in smaller rolls. It'll come in like a 15-yard roll, I think, or something like that. But I love to get the big rolls. It's more economical, and I don't run out as quickly. And why I love this wire is because it is so easy to work with. And when I work with it, it does not lose its color. When I bend the end, it doesn't lose the color. And it just always looks shiny. There is another one that is very similar, and it looks the same, and I have that, but the color of it just isn't the same. And when I bend the wire, it kind of dulls it up a little bit, and I don't like that. I like my silver to be shiny, and that's the problem. Gold is always shiny. Silver is a little bit more difficult. So I love this wire. Then I also love these. And I get these like this because then I have all sizes, because I use this one a lot. Then I also use this one. And I use the rest of them too, as you can see. But I love the container. Is just really nice. Really, really nice. And I'm going to try and stay in frame as best as I can. Then I also use the little daisies. And I think this is a 4mm daisy, and this may be a 6 to 8mm daisy. And they're both different. I use them both. Let's see. Oh yes, the rondelles. I buy these, and I buy these in all sizes. Every size that there is. And I love these. These sometimes aren't very good quality, and sometimes it's a hit and miss. But when I look for them, I love these ones right here. I love the ones that are crimped like that. I love them because it shows off more of the sparkle. But I also use the other ones a lot. And this one here is one that, I don't know if you can really see it. I might not be able to pick it up on the camera, but when I have it sitting beside all the rest, it's duller. So this would be one that I had bought a long time ago that maybe isn't the best quality. And here's another one. See, that just doesn't have the shine, and sometimes it's really hard to get the better quality. So that's the Rhinestone rondelles, and I also get them in this color. I love this color, and I use this color as silver, and I think this is the gunmetal, or maybe it's even black. But when I use these, it just really makes things pop. So I love those. Love, love, love them. I use these elliptical beads. And sometimes you can get these in kits that have all the other bits and pieces too. Sometimes they're sold out though, but I just love them. These are used for everything, and these are beautiful quality. These are just as beautiful as the gold. And my bead caps. And I just get them in the multiple packs. So I have all the different sizes. And these ones are really good quality. I love these. It took a long time to find, like this one right here. So nice and bright and shiny. And even this one too. This one's really nice. But I have a lot of bead caps that just were not good quality. And so when I can't get the quality, I'm not going to make charms with that. And then there are these. These are the glass bicones, and I think this is the 8mm one, and I love these. All of these things come from Amazon. And then there's the beads, and these are my beads, and I sell these beads in strands of, I sell the lampwork beads in strands of 45 to 46, but I do not sell my premium beads like these. You might see one or two of them in a strand, but in my Patreon, these are things that I make available in my Patreon. And I will link that in the description box too. We're just going to quickly go over some tools, because tools are the key to less frustration and less hand fatigue. So the first one I'm going to show you are my looping pliers. So I have a couple. I have this one I bought many years ago, and I think that it was a handcrafted tool that was online, and I have used this one so much. It was just a handcrafted tool on a website. It doesn't have a brand or anything like that, but it is just one of my favorites. So I love this one. And then there's also this looping tool. And you can get this, and this really will help you with the hand fatigue. And it really does make a nice loop at the bottom. So if you're looking for something that can help you with a bottom loop, this is it. It's hard to do a top loop with this one, just because you need to put the wire in so far. But we're gonna make a loop with this one too. Then there are these. These are the flat-nosed needle nose pliers, and I love these. These are an essential. Then you've got your wire cutters, and oh look, see, I even have glue on my wire cutters because glue is on everything. And these are just so good. These will get into those corners and nip it so close that you're not going to have the long little burrs sticking out. And then there is the long nose needle nose pliers. And this one here is a little bit more expensive, but for me, because I make so many charms, it was essential that I had something that wasn't causing hand fatigue. And I did break it, and I found my new one. This here is this is really good quality, because my piece of wire there, it broke. And I contacted the company, and these are lifetime warranted. And so I just sent them a picture, and within the next day, there was another brand new pair in the mail, and I didn't even have to send these back. So I can still use them. I just need to get my other ones out. I haven't done a lot of charms here since Christmas time. I've been kind of off, so I haven't bothered to get the other pliers out. All right, so what I do is I always will cut my wires in advance, and I just keep them in a little container. So I cut them about 2.5 inches long, like this. And I can cut them shorter for me because I already know how much wire I'm going to waste with my charms. But I would for you, I would make it 2.5 inches long, because that way, if you need to redo the loop on the bottom, because that sometimes happens, you know, when you're tightening things up a lot, then you'll lose the loop on the bottom, and then you have to start over. So I have those. And then I also, you know, when I'm watching a movie or something like that, or I have downtime, I'll just sit there and I'll just make loops on them like this. Just add the loops, and then they're ready to go. All right, so let's clear these up. Oh, yes, and this. This is a silicone grip, and you can see I've used it a lot. It's a silicone grip wire straightener. And I don't use it a lot for this because my wire is generally straight. But sometimes when I get wires that look wonky like this, and I've done a lot of dangles, my hands are tired, I just take this thing and just pull my wire through like that, and it straightens it up quite nicely. And I'm hoping to stay in frame, but as with me, you know, that's sometimes a little bit of a chore. No thumbs down for that, though. It's really hard doing charms on a video and trying to show you all the little details of it, because the little holes, the holes on this are really difficult. Oh, I don't think I showed you these, did I? And then I have the little daisy spacer, the little spacer beads here. And they're just little daisies, and I have them in two different sizes, and I just keep them in the container cups. So here, let's do this one first. And I need a little bit of practice with this because I don't use it very often. So this here is a 1.5 millimeter loop, and you don't want anything bigger than that when you're making charms. I would use a head pin if they made them long enough, and if they made the bead on the end big enough so that it doesn't fall through the beads, but they generally don't, and if they do, they're really expensive. So I just choose out of economy to make my own. So you're going to pop the wire in, and it shows you right here, there's a hole at the other end right here, so you can stick that wire in that far. And it's a one-handed thing. And then it will cut your wire off and make you a perfect little loop. If you're using the looping wire, the looping pliers, excuse me, you will need to cut your wire longer. See, that's a really nice loop. And then what I do is I take this little guy here, and I just bend it so that it's straight up and down like that, and it makes, and close that up, it makes quite a nice loop, and it really takes the stress out of loops. So we're going to do that again, and this is how I do it because I save wire. So I just stick it in up until right there, because I know that's the end right there, because it's going to cut it off otherwise. And then I just round it up and I pull it down like that a little bit. This is how I do it. And then it's pretty good. I just take this and I kind of like, I want it straight on. But see how you need a little bit more wire if you're using this, because the loop is just a little bit bigger. But that's okay. It's a very beautiful loop. Beautiful loop. There's nothing wrong with that. If your hands are tired, that's so fast. But I like to use this one. And there are a few out there that are like it. I just don't have it because I don't need it. And this one here, if you get one like this, you can make your loop as big or as small as you want. And you just stick it in there, bend it. I just twist it around, and then I take and bend it back, and I straighten my wire out. And it gives me a smaller loop. Not much smaller. They're pretty good. I would say they're almost equal. This is just so fast for me because I've been using it for a very long time. Okay, so let's get some things going here. So these are the beads that I'm going to be working with. And for myself, I like to dump things out so that I can see what I have in my dish. And I use a silicone mat underneath. It's a little harder to clean up afterwards because it grips everything, but it grips everything. These I don't need to dump. These I do because there's certain caps that I want, right? And let's see. Get some of these out. And I even get some of these out. And these are really hard. If I go out of frame doing these, it's because that hole is so tiny that I can't see it. And I have to bring it up super close to my eyes. All right, so here we go. Ooh, look at that. Go me. So which bead do I want to do? Oh, this is one of my favorite beads. Absolutely love, love, love. This has got to be one of my favorite purples. So we're going to do that. And now I do not know exactly what I want to do. So let's just pop on one of these. And let's see if I've got a little bit of a larger size that I can pop on one of these. I love the layered look. And I definitely have to find more of the daisies that are a little bit bigger so that I can do that, because I love to do that. I look at that. Yeah, it's good. Now, it's a little bit sloppy. So what I do, so that doesn't happen, I take another little bead like this, and I just pop it in there. And doing that kind of stabilizes it. Sometimes I add two, just because I have lots of them. Go down, get down, there. And then it's stable. I can wiggle it around like that, and the wire isn't sloshing all over. So what do I want to do? Let's find a nice bead cap here. Ooh, that's pretty. So many choices, you know. I love this look. I really love that look. It's very simple, very basic, but I think I don't want that look. I want to see how does that look. And when I look at this, right, even from the top, this is almost as big as this. So you really don't need both because one gets lost with the other. So then I do oh yes, I love that. That looks like a princess to me. So now I can do this because these fit in there perfectly. And then I put a little thing on the top, a little bead on the top. Or this is very beautiful. Also, this is a whole different look. It's very much more elegant. So we do that. Or at this point, can be even more elegant. Let's see, what do I have here? I love these little ones. They look like little cups, and they're really hard to use on beads because they're a little bit too concave. to fit nicely on the bead. So I put it upside down like that. And then I will add, here we are. I'll add this. Oh, that's really pretty too. And that really sparkles. So I'm going to do that. I love that look. That's a good look for this bead. And then I put that on top. And then I put them off to the side because I loop the ends all at the same time. So let's do another one. And I do these little tutorials to give you ideas. So, okay, I'm not going to use both this time. I'm just going to use one. Let's see, which bead do I want to use? Let's do this one, because this one's a little bit harder. It's kind of oblong. So let's see, what are we going to do? And these are kind of tricky, even for me. So I want to use a bead cap on the bottom, maybe. Yes, I do. I love the way that looks. It just finishes it off really pretty. And on top, what works is, yes, that's pretty. Now, I think maybe I want to grab one of these bigger silver beads. That one's not big enough. So I might have to drop down a size in this. Let's see. Let me see the sparkliest one. Ooh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. That's an old one. Oh, I do like this. See how sparkly that is? I love it. And then I like to add one of these little guys to the top, just to finish that off. And this is just so pretty. Sometimes the loop on the bottom, and this is made with the looping wire, sometimes that loop is just not, it doesn't close properly, and I just take my little flat-nosed needle nose pliers and I just give it a pinch there, like that, and it just brings it together nicely. Oh, I really like that. That would be so pretty, hanging from the side of your journals. That's kind of like a fairy journal. To me, that looks like that would be on a fairy journal. All right, we're going to do one more, and then we're going to close them up. And see, this one here, the wire is just kind of bent a little bit. So I take this and I just go like that, and it kind of straightens it up really nicely. Bend a little bit more there. And see how nice long I left that? That way I can make all the mistakes I want. All right, so let's do this. I always start with the little bead on the bottom. And sometimes I actually just have beads on them and put them in the containers as is. All right, so which one do I want to do? Let's do this one. All right, so let's grab one of these, and let's see if I can find, yes, this. And if you take a look at that, that really, it's too tiny for this bead. This bead needs a little bit more than that because it's so big. And sometimes if you switch it around, it's better. See how it's nicely convex? That's a better presentation for the bottom. It's pretty compared to this here is concave, and you kind of just lose those beads in there when it's so concave. So I like the other side better on this, and I'm going to remove one of these. I'm going to put a bead cap on the bottom. Sometimes it's a challenge getting a bead cap to fit, just because the little flower petals are too close. So let's see, something shiny, shiny, shiny. Okay, let's see. I think that one might be big. Nope, that fits. That fits perfectly. Just like that. Looks pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay. And it's really sloppy. This one's sloppy. So I'm going to add a few of these to the center. Sometimes you need 3. I have lots of these. I add 3. All right, that's good. Goody, goody, goody. All right, so I know that this one looks awesome with that. And because of the flower petals being so congregated to the top of this bead, I can't even put another bead cap on there. So what do I want to do? I love this look. This look I just love. I love it, love it, love it. I'm trying to stay in frame. It's a challenge. Visually challenged, even with my glasses on for these tiny little things. Look how pretty that is. And that's just going to sparkle so pretty when it's hanging there. Let me see if there's anything else that's kind of an awkward bead here to work with. Let me think. Sometimes these are a challenge, so we'll do one more. I'm sorry, we'll just do one more. You can fast forward at any time that you want to get to the end. And a lot of you already know what you're doing, but sometimes it's just a refresher course. So I'm going to add these. I'm going to add both of them to the bottom. Goodness, I need to get more of those larger beads. Let's do this one. Let's see which side is better. I think this side is better. And the hole is always so big, so here we go. And you can use seed beads for this too. If you've got those itty bitty tiny seed beads, they work. Okay, so we are going to do, what have I got here? I've got these double ones. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, that's really pretty. Kind of reminds me of like Aladdin, but we're not going to do that. Let's see. Here's a nice bead cap. Does it fit? Yes, it does, but it's kind of, that one's not a good fit at all. It fits, but it's too slidey. Okay, so there we go. I want to do, let's see, sometimes I do this sometimes, but not with this bead. That's no good. Let me see. What do I want to do? Oh, I have bigger ones here. Sometimes I use these, but I don't know if this is going to be too big. That is definitely too big. Sometimes I like to layer those. All right, so let's do this. Let's turn that upside down. Okay, well, we'll turn that upside down, but let's put one of these on first. Sometimes I just turn them, sometimes I just turn them upside down and leave them. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. Now let's grab one of these bigger silver beads. Oh, it just disappears when I do that. No good. Not good. Let's see. Here we go. I love those. I never get enough of those. Let's see. Let's see if this works. I love the silver, but that one is just a little bit too tiny. I need a bigger one. I don't know if these are too big. They might be. Oh no, that's really pretty too. Oh wow, we got the light coming in now. That is really pretty. All right, I'm going to do that. Now, I don't know if these are going to work. Nope, they don't. They just want to fall in. So I need to look for an alternative. Something that is, oh, here's one. This one should work. Do you know what? That's just too big. That's too big. That is not going to work. All right, so we're not going to do that because that doesn't work. But this combination is really pretty. Really, really pretty. So let's do this. We'll just do, oh yeah, that's really pretty. I like that. It's a little princess one. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to close them up. And I do have videos on this, on how to do loops, how to do them. And it's just called my looping video. And I hold it like this and like this. I take my two fingers and I hang on to the top, this, and this one goes here. It stabilizes things. Nothing's moving because I want, and it doesn't matter, but I'm just kind of particular. I want this loop in line with this loop. And it doesn't always happen that way, let me tell you. And then I have a trick for that. So I bend it away from me 90 degrees. I take this needle nose pliers, the round one, and I grip it like this, and it's stable. Nothing is moving. I take and bend this right over and down. So it looks like this. And things are maybe a little bit smushed up and whatnot, but that's okay. So it looks like this. I take it out. It was on the top wire, and now I'm on the top needle. Now I'm putting the bottom one, looping it in, and I just change hands like this. So this was towards me, and now it's away from me. And I take and bend it forward towards me, 90 degrees, and I just kind of give this just a little twist up, just a little twist up. And then I take this pliers. Because this is for junk journals, we're not making jewelry here. We're just playing. I used to do jewelry, and then this was super important. So see that? It's perfect. Now I'm going to grab this, and this gets in there so nice and tight, like that. And I have a little waste there, a little waste bucket, and it is almost disappears, And then I take this and I just kind of give it a little bit of a squeeze, a little squeeze, not a hard squeeze, and I just lift this up. And if I can still see it, I give it just a little bit more, and it kind of disappears. And you have a beautiful charm. The loops are even. We're going to do one more, and then you're going to go and practice. So let's do this one. Finger and fingers. Hanging on to it. Flat nose needle nose plier, bending 90 degrees away from you. 90 degrees away, still in the same hand. Now with my needle nose pliers, see how I'm gripping it like this? I'm looping around the top towards me, and then I'm putting the bottom of the needle nose pliers into that loop. To the other hand, this is away from me, and I bring it forward, loop. And you can see it's kind of off. I give it the little twist so it's aligned. And then I cut it off, and it's lovely. And you can leave it like that, but I want these to be kind of in line. So I move it a little bit forward and then squeeze it a little bit. So it just gives it that symmetrical, perpendicular sort of vibe. All right, so I hope that you have had a good time following along. I'm going to link things in the description box. These are really, really pretty. If you would like to order some beads from me. I have random strands that you can practice with. They're all very beautiful. I use them for everything, but there are just premium beads that I save for myself that are a bit more rare. And those, I don't make strands of, but I do for my Patreon. I will. So there you go. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.